Hi, and welcome back to Zero to Game Dev Hero. In this video, we will learn about the structure of C# code and write our first line of code. Yes, it's time. After this video, you can finally say that you are a programmer. At least a tiny bit. But hey, everything step by step. Let's go. Let's open one compiler. Let's have a look at the sample code. First, let's delete a few things. We don't need them at the moment. I have already prepared a version of the sample code for you, where I have deleted and cleaned up a few things. You can find the link to the prepared one compiler window in the description. You just need to open it. It should look like this. That looks easier, huh? But there's too much going on. Unfortunately, you need a certain code structure and some lines of code just to make the program work. So when you start programming, you see some code at the beginning and don't understand most of it. Don't let that scare you off. I'm going to walk you through the structure now, but you don't have to understand all of this yet. We would have to skip some lessons and learn a lot of new stuff to understand all this code well. But that wouldn't be a good start and it would be too much for the beginning. All you need to know is that this code is necessary for the program to work. What exactly this code does is something you will learn soon. Promised. But let's go through this code anyway. The first thing we have here are the using statements. They just tell the file which libraries it should use for this program. The system library contains many useful functions that help us when we write code. Under that, we have a class. I will explain to you what a class is in one of the next videos. You don't need to understand it at the moment, but what you need to know is that almost everything in C# is a class. And most of the code we write in C# is inside of a class. Let's say for now that this class is our program. The code inside this class is a function. And in this case, it's a very special function, the main function. It's the starting point of our program. The function looks complicated, but you don't need to understand it at the moment. Everything you need to understand is that it's the first thing that will be executed. When we run the program, it will go through all classes that we have and will look there for exactly this function. It has to be written like this, and we can only have one main function. Otherwise, the program will not work. And when the program finds our main function, it is the first thing that will be executed. So everything that we write inside of the main function will be executed when we start the program. And inside those curly brackets is the area where we will write our code. For now, that's the only important area for us. We will learn about classes and functions later. And we can see that we already have one statement inside of our main function. And when we hit run, this statement is executed because it's inside of our main function. So this must be the statement that displays the hello world in the console. There must be something in this statement that tells our computer to display hello world. And there we have the words hello world. So the text in the console on the right should change when we change this text. Let's try. We change the text to hello, I'm the code author. Feel free to use your own name. And then hit run. It works. Perfect. This whole statement is responsible for displaying text in the console. When the program is executed, the computer goes from top to the bottom and executes the statements one by one. Every statement is separated with a semicolon so that the computer knows when a statement ends and a new statement begins. Let's add another statement under the first statement. Console is the class that is part of the system library that we included with using system. The console class gives us several functions to do something with the console. To use functions inside of this class, we use a dot. After the dot, we write the function that we want to use from this class. In our case, write line with brackets at the end. Inside the brackets, we write the text we want to display. This is our first program. We need to write the text inside of quotes. Console.writeLine, open brackets, quotes, this is my first program, close the brackets, semicolon. This statement displays a text in the console. You will need it often. You may not understand what every word of this statement is doing, but for now you just need to know that it displays text in the console. When we learn about classes, you will understand better what is going on here. That was a complicated line of code. But now you can display text in the console. It may not look like much to you, but it's an important step. To better remember what the written code does, you can comment the code. In C#, you start comments with a double slash. Let's write after this statement what it does. Double slash, this statement displays text in the console. Once a double slash comes in a line, everything written after it is ignored. The computer executes the line until a double slash appears in the line, then it jumps to the next line. So we can write anything we want in a comment. It doesn't interest the program, and it doesn't influence it either. Cool. If we want to write comments over multiple lines, there is a way to do that in C# too. Such a comment starts with a /* and ends with a */. Everything in between is recognized by the computer as a comment and is ignored, no matter how many lines such a comment has. Let's try it out. Above our two statements, we make such a comment. We start with /*. This is our first program. I'm finally a programmer. Yay! //. And if we run the program now, we see that the comments had no influence on our program. They were ignored by the computer. Comments are very handy. You should comment code often so that the next day you know what your code does and what it is good for. You can write comments on your code during the tutorial series to help you remember what you learned. Very useful. In this first lesson, you have learned a lot of new things. But now you have a good base. And I promise you that later on you will understand all of the parts of the program that we didn't cover today. If you like my content, you would help me a lot by subscribing to my channel. If you have any questions or need help, leave a comment. I will try to answer you. In the next lesson, you will get to know variables. Click on the next video to continue with the next part.